Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the Cub Content Studio on the Pull Tab Sports Network, David.
Hey, there we go. We got it right this time.
I got it right. There's no pause. The hard drive didn't stop. It all went well. David, we are at episode number 12.
You look snazzy today. You got your sport coat over there. Where are you going?
I hung it up so Sal could pan to it just because I want to look
our
like
friend over
a
there.
real person. There's our invisible friend who bets better than I do on Sleeper.
Because they don't bet.
Hey, Today, you know what we're going to talk about? We are going to talk about a number of things. One being Cub Foods because we love them, and that's where you get your food. Great meat section, great vegetables, always fresh produce. Use the Cub delivery, and they have liquor stores throughout the Twin Cities, as well as a delivery service and a curbside service. So for all your food and beverage needs, go to Cub Foods. We thank them for their sponsorship. But what also some things we're going to talk about today, David, is we're going to continue some of our gambling stories because I don't think we covered a few things that from Vegas. I also have a fan mail section today because you and I have been talking about this. If at the emails we got, let's go over a couple of those because thank you, listeners, for sending us some emails. So we've got a couple to go over today, which is kind of fun.
I think so, and we're getting a little bit better at social media. So we're out on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram. We're doing YouTube and Instagram shorts. So please, if you see it through your scrolling or, I don't know, feed maybe? Is that what you're supposed to say? The cool kids
We
say
are
that?
so bad at social media.
Algorithm, come up on
Algorithm, favorite, like it, subscribe it would really help us to be here and help Sal, Spencer, the Cub Content Studio, and our sponsors. We really appreciate you guys following, listening.
Agreed. We would love it if you subscribe. We'd love to have you listen to our podcast and just enjoy it as much as we enjoy doing it, right? So there's that. And then we were just talking in the pre-production meeting about some social gambling that's going on out there. So that'll be really interesting, too. What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because I mentioned it to Sal, and the look on his face was in disbelief that Dave & Buster's is going to start gambling.
I seriously don't know how it's going to work, but it's intriguing, right?
It is, yeah,
it is.
A little skee ball, and
it is.
Whether you win or lose, I don't understand how it's going to work.
I think I'm going to buy some stock in Dave & Buster's.
I think you're right. Like if they're going to let you bet as opposed to just, why wouldn't you just hand your buddy money if you go, hey, best score on skee ball, like you and I do, right? Like, hey, whoever stays up the longest water skiing gets $20.
Well, there's got to be a catch, right? I mean, there's something.
Yeah,
there's got to be something, and maybe they're paying odds or something too. Like you're horrible at skee ball, Sal, but you, Pete, you're good. So we're going to give you 1 to 2 odds, and Sal's going to have 5 to 1 odds, right? And see if people put their money on you. It'd be great if they let strangers bet on you, but we'll talk about that as well today.
What if they invite the gambling guys to the Dave & Buster's store near us, and we did a podcast? Just going to go ahead and throw it out there.
Maybe we should go have our folks talk to them and bring them on as a sponsor.
You look like you'd be good at that guy that puts the coins in, and then it drops, and then it pushes, and then it drops.
Oh, my Lord. People don't believe in me anyway. I mean, that was another agenda item today was let's talk about Sleeper and the other parlay sites and how it's just I don't love them anymore. And it's not because I bet terribly. Well, it is that as well. But it's also because I feel like it's the game's slanted against you on those sites. And we can talk about that as well. Yeah. So what do we want to start with? Let's start.
I want to read it. Can I do an email?
Well, should we do the fan mail section right away?
Yeah, I mean,
let's do that.
I love this email. We got it 6 days ago. So
yep.
From, I'm going to say Ron and Dar F, I'll just say.
So Ron and Dar emailed us.
Yep.
Okay.
The gambling guys. First of all, we've been listening to your podcast ever since the beginning, and we had some friends over a few weeks ago, and all 4 of us loved it. Us gamblers have much in common. Ron had a royal flush dealt to him a month ago, and this must be Dar, recently had one holding 2. Don't you love that? You get 2 to the natural, and you're not even thinking about it. And she sent a picture with it, and there it is. The call attendant on the dollar. One-eyed jacks, I believe.
And they were playing dollar?
This is double bonus, yep.
Double bonus dollar machine?
Yep.
They typically go to
Treasure Island and Hinckley once in a while. And they said, but as a retired couple, we love to go to the casino with friends. And I just tell our kids their inheritance is fun to use.
It's fantastic.
Rod and Dar, we love that you're listening and listening with friends. And that's fantastic.
So 2 things stand out to me there. One, both Ron and Dar got Royals.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I have not had one yet. You are the Royal Flush Whisperer. I think I myself have witnessed you get at least 3 or 4. And you've had, what, a dozen in your lifetime?
Yeah, I said 10 about a month ago, and we've had 2 since. So.
Yeah. So that's awesome. Sal, have you ever played enough video poker to get a Royal Flush?
I have not.
Okay.
No,
So
never have one.
It's kind of like a hole-in-one in golf. It's really difficult to get. And I've had 4 to the Royal so many times dealt to me, or 3 to the Royal, and 2 a lot, and have not been able to peel off those ones. My brother-in-law got one the other night at Mystic. And he was on a quarter machine, which was really kind of disappointing. But
yeah, but it's still $1,000.
Yeah,
right.
It was $1,000.
I could have swore when we were up there just last weekend, we were up at near the big lake, and we were playing a $5 at the end of the night, and I could have swore you were going to hit that 20 grand.
That was close.
It was close.
Yeah.
A couple times it just boom, 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 and miss. But we can't wait to. But you'll get one. You're going to get one within this calendar year.
You keep saying that, and I know it's going to come, but it's really difficult. And I still have buddies who have not gotten a hole-in-one, and I hit a tree and got a hole-in-one.
Okay, I've played a lot of golf, and I've had, let's just call it 12 naturals, and I've had 0 hole-in-ones.
You have not had a hole-in-one either, have you?
Yeah, and that'll make me feel better.
Oh, yeah, I have not either.
You losers.
I take that back. I got a story real quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was kind of an island green, water behind and along the side.
Okay.
Hit it long into the water.
Yep.
Dropped the ball for the 3.
Oh, you
jugged it for the 3.
Dunked it for the 3.
Wow. So you kind of had a hole-in-one, but not really.
Well, no, it's not a hole-in-one.
Right.
That's how we golfers.
It's like
yeah, almost. I almost does it. I almost shot 75.
Yeah, you're playing simulation golf. I got a hole-in-one. Oh, did you? The ball went 10 feet.
I have had 1 hole-in-one, and I literally hit a flare shot, hit it off an oak tree branch. It dropped onto the green and rolled into the hole.
Love it.
And that was my.
That's how you're going to get your natural. I'm going to bet you're going to either have it dealt to you, and you're going to try to keep all 5 cards without shaking.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be like Dar, getting 2, and it's just going to be boom, boom. By the way, that kind of reminded me of something. Did you see any of the other fan mail that was in the email?
I did. I was going to read it because it's just a hoot.
Do it.
But let me finish up on the Ron and Dar because I only get 1 point.
Oh, yeah, got
My
it.
second point is I love the fact that they as a couple are out there playing video poker together. Like my wife is just starting to get into video poker. She's not playing as many 5 reels. She's playing more like quarter as she gets warmed up to it. And she is really enjoying it too. So it's nice to hear that there's another couple out there playing some video, but we're going to have to get your soon-to-be Mrs. David Casino to play a little video poker at some point. I don't know that we will, but let's try.
I love it.
Does Mrs. Pete sit? Do you guys sit like side by side and take turns?
Well, we hold hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we actually, that's funny you should say that because on Friday at Mystic, I always play dollar double bonus because I learned that from my good friend David Casino. And we were with my in-laws, my wife's sister and her husband, and we literally played 4 across quarter double bonus poker.
That's fun though.
Which was absolute blast because everybody put in the same amount, and we compared. You stop for a second and you watch somebody else, dealing out their cards or where they are, and everybody's kind of keeping track of. It's kind of a scoreboard thing, right? I lasted the longest because I'm obviously the best video poker player that ever walked face earth.
Good at
Did you get to watch them throw 2 pair away?
Oh my gosh, he did it again.
Here we go.
Sal, he did it again.
Here we go.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. And it was on a $5 machine, I think.
No.
Yeah.
Pete.
The full house, wasn't it?
I think it was on a $5 machine.
And so he threw away 200.
No, $2 machine. It was a $2 machine.
$2 machine.
But
So
that's almost as bad
$80.
as 5. Yeah.
He just, and I stopped him and I'm like.
He was so mad at me.
Well, I wasn't really mad. I just disappointed.
Oh my God, you sound like my parents. Okay, so Sal,
it kind of relates to the fan mail, though, I think. Does
this
it not?
was 6s and deuces. Yeah, it does relate to the fan mail. So I'm going to try to bring this email up as I kind of sit here. But this one was from Steve. There it is. Actually, sorry, Steve, if I called you Steven, or I didn't call you Steven. You signed the email Steven. But it says, guys, I'm really happy to have been following you both on your shorts and on your casino runs. I have one question for you. David Casino, what is it like watching Prop Bet Pete play video poker?
Okay.
I can't wait to hear this answer.
So I just we just posted a short, I think, on YouTube and on Instagram, one of my favorite ones ever of us at Bellagio, and you just did a really nice job. So I'm gonna start with the positive. I love going to the casino with you, and you said this is an albino squirrel, and you're like, awesome, like it was perfect. So if you haven't checked it out, like I love being with Pete, and I love gambling, and that's why we're here.
Yeah,
we just
that's why
hopefully
we're the
you can
best of
see
friends.
it. We're just. It's lighthearted. It's fun. Sal fits in perfect and
Agreed.
helps us keep on track and everything else behind the scenes. Yeah. But Sal will be there right there with us. Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say. I'll say two things. Well, 12 things used to drive me crazy about Pete, and now only 2 things do. Throwing away full houses.
I don't blame you there. I cannot blame you there.
I've missed a pair quite often. I miss a pair every probably session or 2, right? You know, but the one thing that...
So let me stop you before the second one. So throwing away full houses, are you at the point now where every time I get dealt something good, you get a little bit of anxiety?
Okay, yes. So when we were playing this last weekend, we were playing one-eyed jacks, and Pete got dealt 4 of a kind, 4 8s. You got 3 8s and a jack, and that one, the 8 was on the left side of the jack, and he held 3. Sal, no lie, he held 3, and I'm like, the other 8, and he stopped and he looked at me, and he goes, thank God you told me. I was like, because throwing away a full house is one thing. Throwing away 4 of a kind, that's like go to the car worthy.
Yeah. He actually said, because he did say the other 8, and I hit the button and took the 4 of a kind, didn't get 5 of a kind. And I did turn around and looked at David, and I said, thank God you told me, because I think I would have missed it. I think I saw it as a 6. And he's like, at that point, I would have left. And he's like, and you would have come with me. We would have left, and I would not have talked to you the whole way home.
So let me ask you this, both of you.
Yes.
David, how many do you think he's thrown away when you haven't been around?
Well, I wonder,
Pete, how many do you think you've thrown away because David wasn't there?
Oh, Lord. Here we go.
So we talked about this. I used to try to play really fast, and I'm trying to slow down. So honestly, I'm just a very anxious, tight-wound person, and I'm trying to slow down. Like that you played really slow at the beginning. I wouldn't say it drove me crazy, but it was uneasy. The only thing, and this relates to the slowness or whatever, is...
This is another pet peeve of yours.
It's the biggest pet peeve I have.
Oh,
with anybody that I hear.
This one's fun, too.
It's fun, though.
Listen up on this one, because it's fun.
So let's say you hit 4 of a kind for $2.50. Doesn't matter quarters or dollars, and you hear it go ding, 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 ding. It's counting the dollar, and every time it does, it's
and
ding,
you can
ding,
see it
ding,
counting
ding,
up,
ding,
right?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Well, you can hit a button, and it just goes to $2.50, right?
That's correct.
Sometimes Pete, all the time, when Pete wins, he likes to just sit there.
I like to savor the win.
He likes to just I don't know what he does with his hands, but he just sits there and stares at the screen and watches it go ding, 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 ding. So I have a little bit to learn. Stephen, thank you for that. I super enjoy going to the casino with Pete, but I do occasionally reach over his shoulder and just hit the
so let me comment on that. So 2 things you might imagine. So
Did you say hit the gas?
I think I'm like, he does. He just like hits the gas to the floor. So I get dealt, let's say it's 3 kings, and I hit the button, and I get 4 kings. And as it's counting up, I revel in the success. I'm enjoying the success. I'm watching it count up to $2.50. So it goes, 10, 20, 30 by ones. It's counting up
ding,
by dollar
ding,
bills.
Ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding. And David literally will reach over my shoulder and hit the button just so that it goes straight to $2.50. Because
we usually
he says
switch.
0 patience.
We usually switch on 4 of a kind, and so I'm like, get the hell out of my seat. It's my turn now.
And so
I'm so impatient.
So conversely, when we go to the slot machines, or the 5 reels, you hit the 5 reel and you watch it kind of it plays itself out. Well, David has 0 patience, as you might imagine. And so he literally fast spins. So Sal, he'll hit the button twice, so the reels will start going and they'll stop real quick. And I'm like,
do you think it's the same outcome?
100%.
I think so too.
I think it's got to be, but boy, you can go through a hell of a lot of money when you're fast reeling. And so he'll do the same thing with 5 reel. So, we'll get like a bonus round, and these newer slot machines, they have a lot of graphics associated with them. They have a lot of animation. And so when you hit something fun, sometimes a little guy will run out, or you'll see coins up in the air, or balloons, or whatever the hell that particular slot machine is doing. And David has zero patience.
Do you know
for
the
seeing
only
that
thing I
stuff.
care about?
Zero.
The credits in the bottom right. I don't care if there's little leprechaun or balloons that you refer to.
Pete, you would gamble with my wife. My wife, she does all this sort of different little,
Right.
like good luck things. She'll like rub the dollar sign in circles and counterclockwise.
Yeah, pat
and,
the machine.
Yes.
Will she smack the machine at all like David did?
Oh, that's
Well,
right. Forgot about that.
all he did was, which I highly doubt.
Okay, so I'm gonna put something out for our listeners. It's kind of like don't drive slow in the left lane. If you want to drive slow, just drive in the right lane. Or do we all agree with that? Sal?
I would
Yes.
agree.
Okay,
Yes.
so I've got another one, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there because this is strongly related to gambling.
Okay.
When you're playing video poker, you do that. You can, when you hit max credits the first time, right?
Yeah.
After that, all you have to do is hit the deal or draw, and it automatically sends up the cards. If you hit max credits, it makes a sound like this. Do-do-do-do. 5 times because it counts.
Oh, you're right.
You got to tell me that's not annoying.
That is very
when
annoying.
People you're sitting next to just hit that like the sound to, I don't know. Again, it's my impatience, but just hit the draw button. Now, truth be told, TJ, who we've talked about before, we were in Vegas. I was actually doing that about 6 years ago, and he's like, David, what are you doing? And so then I got used to doing it. So I feel like I should tell everybody. So,
maybe what we should do for you, especially with your patients, sometimes with me, is I'm going to start bringing what do they call the half pints? Aren't those called I forget what they call them, of Stoli. I'm just going to let you chug a little Stoli before we walk in.
Well, let me read something. So Stoli is a sponsor of ours. I think we started reading with them a couple months ago.
Right.
Fantastic sponsor. We've talked about them before. So if you're looking for a vodka with unparalleled purity and unmistakable taste, look no further than Stoli Vodka. It's distilled with the finest European source grains. Stoli's perfect for mixing into a cocktail or savoring on the rocks. They've got a wide range of flavors. I think we've talked about a lot of them before. Stoli offers something for everybody. So take a moment when you're in your next favorite liquor store to grab a bottle of Stoli and enjoy it and put on the gambling, guys.
There you go. I love Stoli. It's one of my favorite vodkas, if not the favorite. I'll call it the favorite at this point. Wouldn't you?
So, Stephen, thank you for the email. Dar and Ron as well. Stephen, we'll have to maybe what we can do is film a little bit. I think we're headed up on Friday or in a couple days.
We are headed up on Friday.
So maybe we can catch a moment of action when you're counting.
Yeah, we were just talking about doing some kind of, because with the points, and we've talked about this before. Obviously, you always have to use your loyalty card because you do get a lot of offers via email. They can be annoying at times because Mrs. Proppet keeps getting postcards from Grand Casino, and I know why, because they love her as a gambler. But I keep getting emails from them, and I looked at one today for Hinckley, and we might be able to do a little play and stay golf and casino run, you and I, and maybe even bring Sal with us if he wants to come along. And play a little golf, and then maybe do a podcast up that way. Love it. I bet they might even sponsor us for a podcast.
Hey, and we got that. We got a pressure washer from them last time up there. What a great gift!
We did, and you and I share another thing in common, which is we may have mentioned in the past, which is mountain biking. And it was this pressure washers are going to come in handy to help us with maintenance on the bikes, right? So thank you to Grand Casino on that one. Hopefully we'll have them as a sponsor at some point. I know we're working on it, right? So, yeah. So let's talk a little bit about social gambling. And David brought this subject up yesterday to me, and then we talked about it in the pre-production meeting. I'm going to let you guys kind of talk about this because I honestly am flabbergasted and a little bit. It just doesn't make sense to me. So. What's
I just saw an
here?
article, and I think Sal's going to jump in because he's got a better article that describes it, because they use a phrase. They're not saying gambling; they're saying
social wagering.
Social wagering. But it says already says Dave & Buster's gambling plans are facing immediate pushback from lawmakers because obviously That's the headline.
The lobbies, right?
Oh yeah, and I think it comes down to tax dollars or whatnot. But the question, like I looked at it, and I mean, we're on a gambling podcast, and I feel like people should, within the realm of legality, if you're 18 or 21, I mean, follow that. But then be your own person. Like if you want to gamble, gamble. I'm not sure about being at Dave and Buster's. And would you say, Sal, like it's on the basketball and skee ball?
So it says customers can soon make a friendly $5 wager on hot shot basketball game, a bet on skee ball competition, and other arcade games. The betting function expected to launch in the next few months will work through the company's app.
So you probably obviously you'll bet on yourself and a score. I would assume you pick an over under type thing on your score. Well, I suppose you can only pick the over.
The over, right?
But then there's got to be a minimum, right?
Yeah.
Because if let's say it's count the number of basketball buckets you make, like how many do you put through the hoop? I'm gonna say more than one in 40 seconds, right? And win my. This will be interesting.
It will, and I kind of like what they're doing though. I just pulled up their app. Like they've got a spot in there with challenges.
Yeah.
And they can upload the card. I think in one of the articles I read, the COO was talking about how they want to integrate that. So if you're making your, what did you call it, Sal, friendly $5 wager, it'll all be in the app and the card to make sure that you can go get that big stuffed animal or the candy and create some fun. It's interesting they're pushing the line with it, which is great.
You know, you had a recent experience at Dave and Buster's that was fun, right? Family experience, and you guys did some food and some games there.
Yeah, that's why I have the app. Right, so I got but we'll see how this unfolds and come back to it because
David read the article and he wanted to get on the ground floor of the app. So.
David was at the door of Dave and Buster's at 10:45. When can I start? When can I bet?
Their stock's $50 right now, and they can do friendly $5 wagers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says in this article too, and we didn't see this, but it says the company stock is up more than 50% over the past year.
Wow.
50% over the last year. So maybe it's not the time to buy. Who knows, right? Well, we're not great gamblers, but we're certainly not good stock prognosticators.
So I guess my question with some of this stuff is are you gambling? Because they have 222 locations in North America. Are you gambling against everybody or just that location?
That's a fantastic question, Sal. I'm thinking the same thing. Like, do I bet myself? Does it say, hey, 50% of America got 32 points on this game? If you get more than 32, do you want to bet $5 on yourself? Or I don't know what it would.
And as soon as you make that, there are going to be people to find ways to cheat. Right?
Oh, for sure.
Game the system.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't
you? So I'm sure they're thinking through what that looks like, but that'll be interesting to see how it unfolds.
Well, if you're doing it,
go ahead. my kids, we went to a movie last week, and there was a basketball game in the small arcade that they got there, right? Well, they each played the game, and then one of them let the balls all stay out after the game was done.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they both played one game with double the amount of balls to try to get the high score.
There you go. That's a good way to hedge your bet. Or
game in the system. Smart.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Little hack. A little Dave and Buster's hack.
There you go, listeners. Line up at Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, not only do we talk about gambling, but we'll give you a good hack for a Dave and Buster's game. Hey, you know what? There are houses, and then there are custom one houses. Not custom ones, custom one houses. Custom One House Builders. They're a custom house builder here in the Twin Cities. They are on the Parade of Homes and the Artisan Home Tour. They've been around for 40 plus years in making custom homes. They've won several awards around the area. They build a tremendous product. In fact, I'm considering them for my next house build. And what's important, like it is with one of our other sponsors, Duke Cannon, is these guys care about giving back. And so children's cancer research, which is near and dear to a lot of our hearts, they give money to them and give money to many other charitable causes. So we thank Custom One for their sponsorship, and we're very happy to have them on board.
Will they be in the Parade of Homes? Isn't that this spring?
Parade of Homes and the Artisan Home Tour.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So kind of a cool thing. Yeah. So thanks, Custom One. We appreciate you.
So the other thing that I noticed on the Pull Tab Sport Network, that's where we're part of.
Yeah.
I've been watching and seeing. We'll get into Duke Cannon, a big sponsor of ours, the hockey hair piece. But I noticed just recently there was that post about Grint, that app Grint. Have you heard about this? Sal, you mentioned it last time.
Sal
Right?
mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is Grint? So explain that to me. I know it's a golf, but is it an analytics or what is it exactly?
Yeah. So what you do is, their concept is you post your fairways hit, your greens and regulations, your shots, your putt number of putts, and it gives you your analytics at the end of the round. And it also has a GPS, so you can use that to find distances, and it's a social thing. So if either one of you both have Grint, you David can go out and shoot a score, and say you got a birdie on hole 5, it'll automatically send a notification to Pete and says, David got a birdie on hole 5 at Wakapata or wherever.
So two things that are really
Wakapata.
interesting were really interesting to me about this app. So like we're both do some mountain biking and road biking, and we use the Garmin app, and it has a ton of details. Sal, the other day we were headed up a hill, and we were talking about being in Colorado versus here, and we were trying to figure out the incline on that hill.
Yeah.
And we went back and looked, and it was 2.5%.
Yeah. And
Like it showed it in the app. It shows us our power and how where our feet are on the pedals and efficiency and stuff. And I like that about Grint because so many people go out and shoot 88 or, let's say 92 and want to break 90, but they don't realize they had 42 putts, right? And they should focus on putting or they should focus on greens and regulation. That's what I like. The other part, and I'm wondering if we can just do a shout out, maybe we could help with the social betting aspect in Grint. Like if we can help put in a gambling part in Grint, because that's like Trevor, he'd be back here. He could be like the sponsor guy for that.
Well, there's been...
doesn't Grint, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one, but doesn't Grint figure your score for certain games like Wolf, or it keeps the point status?
Oh, really? So
Point
if you're playing
status on
9-point game or Wolf or Hammer or something, it would help.
I
keep track of.
believe so.
Yeah.
I think
We're going to have to download that because that would be a fantastic... I've got some buddies who, a couple of brothers that I play golf with, and they've had an individual game no matter where they're playing or who they're playing. When they're with each other, their game is always on, like it's on. And they exchange money every single round they play. And their score sheet literally looks like a multi-tiered spreadsheet. Right, like their scorecard. They have got all these games going. They've got doubles for birdies and all these things. And at the end of the round, they're like, "You owe me $142," or "You owe me $156." And I think for them in particular, they're getting sick of keeping track of all this stuff. Something like Grint could do that. That would be fantastic.
I had to use the eraser a ton on the airplane with you and TJ.
Well, that was good for me, bad for everyone else.
Good old Lucky Pete. No, I've never played this game. No, I've never played this game. Both games he cleans up on. Rather be lucky than good, right?
Exactly.
Speaking of being lucky, so I was gonna read the Duke Cannon ad.
Yes.
About here in Minnesota, it's all about hockey hair.
Yeah.
This is not hockey hair. That is not hockey hair.
No.
However, there's a wide variety of products that Duke Cannon has for hockey hair. And the Flow, we're happy to have them as a sponsor. They've been a sponsor at Pull Tab Sports for a really long time. Take a look at what they're doing on Pull Tab Sport Network. There's a lot on the hockey hair and giving out those hats, right, Sal?
yes, been giving out the all hockey hair team hats.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have been using the Duke Cannon products almost exclusively now. The soap. The big ass soap bar, big ass bar. I use their shampoo. I use their Flow products. I'm a fan. And what's the one thing that we love that Duke Cannon does?
They're active support of the armed forces. A proceed of the sales go to support the U.S. military, and you can find them at any local Target or hardware store.
Really, really important to us, and we're very thankful for people who give back. So thank you very much, Duke Cannon. Right? So. Thanks for your sponsorship. So a couple other things I want to cover. One is I want to get to thoughts on, I mentioned this at the top of the podcast, on these betting apps, because you and I have gone back and forth and have had a love-hate, mostly hate relationship with things like Sleeper and others, because I feel like as I look, the odds are they're statistically against you. in these apps, like betting, and these are these parlay sites. I can't wait for gambling to be legal, sports gambling to be legal in Minnesota, because I just want to bet a team based on point spread.
Far easier to bet the Timberwolves. By the way, Wolves in 4. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
For the T-Wolves to win versus one particular person to get 27 points, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you got a deep bench. Somebody can get hurt. You've had people thrown out of the game in the first 2 minutes.
Wait, do we post that one? We should post that one late.
Did Steven ask you about that one?
No, there was another one I
person
wanted to read from somebody else, but we'll get to that one next podcast, because we should start having a mailbag, because we're starting to get a fair amount of emails.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. But, I just, it's so difficult to bet individuals. And, let's say the guy gets a hangnail that night and decides he just isn't going to play well. Or, who knows? And I've been texting back and forth with TJ, our buddy. And he's winning parlays betting the line, right?
Having somebody in a different state.
Place the bet for him. Hypothetically.
We've heard.
Hypothetically. But he's doing very well, at least with the current run of one of the local teams. And so I would love to bet point spreads, because I hope I'm better at that than I am at the sleeper shit, because I am not good at it. I mean, you all know my history. David's laughing because he knows.
Here he is. He says this, but later today he'll make a bet on sleeper for
5 ways.
Yeah, right.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Like, I'm to the point where I just don't care anymore. I put $10 on 5 ways just because it's fun. It actually, for me, and we've talked about this before, and David, I think you feel the same way. The Knicks and the Celtics, or who's playing now? It's the Celtics and somebody. I would never watch a game unless I put a sleeper bet down. Then I'm like all in.
And then you're looking and you're like, where's number 4? Why is it number 4 out there? Why are you shooting? You have to shoot from outside the arc.
We should put a camera on me some night when I'm literally watching games alone, because that's exactly what's happening. I'm talking to the cats. I have cats, 2 cats. Don't judge me for that. I'm talking to the cats, and they're like, "Are you kidding me? Like, would you please shut up and stop yelling at the TV?" Because it's just the sleeper thing just drives me crazy. So, anyway, Do
the cats look at you and like, really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Well, sometimes when I yell, they'll run away.
I've done the same thing in the
holy
dogs,
shit.
because I'm a dog person and he's a cat person.
Yeah.
You guys all figured that out by now. Episode 12. The dogs will be like, jump up and like, what the hell's going on?
Why are you yelling at the TV?
I get excited about it too. So what do you think? So we're going to be heading up in 2 days. What are we going to do? What do you think? Maybe a teaser out for our group here, or our listeners, before we wrap it up. What do you want to do on Friday?
So 2 things we have been doing, David and I, which I'm very surprised by, because we've kind of done a flip-flop. David has started to get into playing the 5-reel slots a little bit. And you like those.
I wouldn't go so far as but I'm getting better at them. I hated them before, and now you hate them.
Now I hate them.
And I want to go over, because I like, what did you say, the little leprechaun and the balloons floating around?
Exactly.
I actually, truth be told, everybody, Sal and
Blitz.
everybody, I like to just hit the button and watch him, just the fire, because just come out like, slow down.
We've been playing Buffalo a lot. We've been playing a little more Huff and Puff. There's a new Huff and Puff out, but I probably won't get to Minnesota for a while. And there's what other ones are we playing? But we haven't found the elusive Bull Blitz yet in Minnesota. I'd love to find that one. What are the other ones we play? Oh, I've played Moolah, Planet Moolah.
Bunch of Buffalo ones.
Yeah, bunch of Buffalo. So David likes playing the 5-reel. So I think on Friday we should do, we start out with each of us dropping a little money into a 5-reel separately and see who wins that competition. And I just love double bonus. I love Deuces Wild. I love One-Eye Jacks is my favorite. Yeah, and I know that was your dad's favorite, so it's
we had a good run last weekend. We got on that machine, and 4 of a kind. We were back and forth. We were up there for a really long time.
You got a 5 of a kind last weekend as well.
Yeah, that's right. 4 dealt. I kept all 4.
I think it was 3s, wasn't
Didn't even need any help. I kept all 4. That's supposed to be a joke. Got that 5th king.
Took me a second, like it did, to recognize.
But then shortly after that, all I got was a bunch of junk and a wild card, and kept the wild card, and then got 4 to the Royal. So I hit a wild Royal for 15.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
All right. Well,
keep the roll going.
Yeah. We'll. As far as next episode, I guess let's make it a mystery, because I think we should maybe
I think we're going to line up a guest. I think I've got a guest for you guys.
Okay,
Oh,
you want to
Sam.
tell us on air, or you want to wait?
Well, we're gonna talk through it.
Okay.
All right, Vegas Matt, maybe a little. Yeah, no, that would be interesting. But that's the other thing I should mention too is if you're not out there on YouTube, folks, go out to YouTube and look up some of the gamblers that are out there because David and I are kind of fond of a few. Vegas Matt being one of them who plays exclusively slots. That guy bets tremendous amounts of money.
Is this the guy that does the YouTubes that he takes people's money and tells them how to bet?
No.
Think so.
Okay.
This is the degenerate gambler, and he's self described.
Okay.
And he bets. It's like 5,000 every single time,
Wow.
and he bets every day. It's wild. Like his swings are 20, 30 grand at a time. It's crazy. He's got about 300,000 followers out there. But that's interesting. And then the Jackpot Gents is one that David and I both love because they play exclusively video poker, just different variations, whether it's a multi-machine or whether it's double bonus or jacks are better. They just play a lot of that stuff. Jacks are better bonus or bonus poker. Yeah. So anyway, I think we've kind of hit a guest next time. Sal's kind of teaser there for a guest.
Like it?
I think this was a great episode, a lot of fun.
Wouldn't do it without everybody listening and watching us. So if you've got some feedback for us, like Pete said, if you're watching other people and you want to hear an episode or certain area or certain focus for an episode, the gambling guys at pulltabsports.com or _gambling guys, both on YouTube and Instagram.
Yeah.
Listen to us, catch us on Spotify as well.
Yeah, thank you all for listening this time. We tried to keep it short, but it was definitely a lot of fun. And David, I always appreciate you. Sal as well. We'll see you guys for episode lucky number 13.
Oh, I like it.
Next week.
Cheers.